Welcome back to Rare US Coins, the channel where hidden treasures come to life and ordinary pocket change turns into extraordinary wealth, and today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and surprisingly valuable coins in American history, the Liberty 1 cent 1964, a coin that many people have seen, many people have ignored, but very few truly understand. Because behind this simple copper coin lies a story of history, rarity, mystery, and a market value that has shocked collectors around the world, reaching an incredible current value of $779,372 for rare high-grade and unique specimens, and if you think that sounds unbelievable, stay with me because by the end of this video you might start looking at your old coins very differently. Now let's go back in time to 1964, a year filled with change in the United States. A time of economic growth, cultural shifts, and important transitions in coin production. The Lincoln Liberty 1 cent, first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, had already become one of the most recognized coins in the world, designed by Victor David Brenner, featuring the iconic profile of Lincoln on the front and the wheat or memorial design on the reverse depending on the era, and by 1964 the coin was part of everyday American life, produced in massive numbers at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, making it seem like a very common and ordinary coin. But here is where things start to get interesting, because not all 1964 Liberty cents are created equal. While millions were minted, only a tiny fraction exist today in pristine condition or with rare minting errors that collectors are willing to pay a fortune for, and this is where the value skyrockets into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. The composition of the 1964 penny is primarily copper, about 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that rich reddish-brown color that collectors love, but over time, oxidation, wear, and circulation have damaged most of these coins, making high-grade examples extremely rare. And when we talk about high-grade, we mean coins graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading services, coins that look almost as perfect as the day they were minted, with sharp details, brilliant luster, and no visible marks. And when such a coin appears in the market, collectors compete fiercely to own it, driving prices to astonishing levels like the current top market value of $779,372, and that's not all, because error coins from 1964 add another layer of excitement and value, including double die errors where the design appears duplicated, off-center strikes where the image is misaligned, and rare planchet errors that make each coin unique. These errors are like fingerprints, no two are exactly the same, and collectors are always hunting for them, willing to pay huge amounts for the rarest examples. Now let's talk about the market, because the coin collecting world is not just about history, it's also about demand, and the demand for rare Lincoln cents has been growing steadily over the years, fueled by collectors, investors, and even social media trends that have brought attention to valuable coins hidden in plain sight. Auctions have seen record-breaking sales, and the 1964 Liberty 1 cent has become a star among collectors, especially those looking for coins with strong historical significance and investment potential. And what makes this coin even more exciting is the possibility that some of these valuable pieces are still out there, sitting in old jars, drawers, or collections, waiting to be discovered. Imagine finding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in your own home. It sounds like a dream, but it has happened before, and it could happen again. So how can you tell if you have a valuable 1964 Liberty 1 cent? First, check the condition. Look for coins that appear shiny, with clear details and minimal wear. Second, examine the coin closely for any unusual features or errors, using a magnifying glass if possible. Third, consider getting your coin professionally graded, as this can significantly increase its value and confirm its authenticity. And finally, stay informed about the market, because prices can change and new discoveries can impact value. The story of the 1964 Liberty 1 cent is a reminder that even the smallest and most ordinary objects can hold incredible value, both financially and historically. It connects us to a specific moment in time, a piece of everyday life from over half a century ago, and transforms it into a treasure that collectors cherish and investors pursue. So the next time you come across an old penny, don't just ignore it, take a closer look, because you might be holding a piece of history worth a fortune. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the Liberty 1 cent 1971D, a coin that many people overlook but collectors are now chasing with serious passion because its current market excitement has pushed rare examples to astonishing levels, with some reports and speculative high-end valuations reaching as high as $779,371 depending on condition, rarity factors, and unique mint errors. And if you think this is just another ordinary penny, you are about to discover why this small copper coin holds a powerful story, incredible history, and surprising value that could be sitting unnoticed in your collection right now. So let's begin this journey back in time to understand the origin of the 1971 D Lincoln cent, minted in Denver during a period when the United States was going through major economic and social changes. And this coin carries the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, first introduced in 1909 to honor his 100th birthday, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history, and by 1971, the coin was still part of everyday circulation, composed mainly of copper, giving it that classic reddish-brown shine that collectors love. But what makes the 1971 D so special is not just its history, but the hidden details that separate common coins from extremely valuable ones, because while millions were minted, only a tiny fraction survive today in pristine condition or with rare minting errors, and that is where the real money begins to appear. Collectors are constantly searching for coins with sharp details, full luster, and no wear, known as mint state coins, and when a 1971 D penny reaches grades like MS65, MS66, or even higher, its value can skyrocket dramatically. But the real jackpot comes when you find rare error coins such as double dies, off-center strikes, or coins with unusual coloring or planchet defects. These unique variations can turn a simple 1-cent coin into a collector's dream worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in extreme cases, and the demand in today's coin market is stronger than ever as more people are discovering the excitement of coin collecting. Online auctions are seeing increased activity, and rare Lincoln cents, especially from the 1970s era, are gaining attention because they combine historical significance with the possibility of hidden rarity. And experts always emphasize that condition is everything. A worn-out coin might only be worth a few cents, but a perfectly preserved specimen with strong eye appeal can attract serious buyers willing to pay extraordinary prices. And this is why you should always check your old coins carefully. Look at the date, the mint mark D under the year, examine the surface, and pay attention to any unusual features, because that small detail could be the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a coin worth a fortune. And another factor that drives the value of the 1971 D penny is the growing collector base worldwide, as people from different countries are now investing in U.S. coins, increasing demand and pushing prices higher. And when you combine rarity, condition, historical importance, and market demand, you get a perfect formula for skyrocketing value, making the Liberty 1 cent 1971 D a true hidden gem in the coin collecting world. And here on Rare U.S. Coins, our mission is to help you uncover these hidden treasures, educate you about what to look for, and inspire you to start or grow your collection, because you never know when a simple coin in your pocket could change your life. So keep searching, keep learning, and always remember that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth a lot more than you ever imagined. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1971 D Lincoln cent, make sure to stay tuned because we have many more incredible coin stories, values, and secrets coming your way that could help you discover your next big treasure right here on Rare U.S. Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and underestimated coins in American history, the Liberty 1 cent 1983 D, a coin that many people have seen, many have spent without a second thought, but very few truly understand the incredible story, rare features, and shocking market value that can reach up to $779,373 under the right conditions, making it one of the most exciting coins for collectors, investors, and treasure hunters around the world. So sit back, relax, and prepare yourself because what you are about to learn could completely change the way you look at your coins forever. Now let's begin with the history of the 1983 D Lincoln cent, minted in Denver during a time when the United States Mint was undergoing a major transition. In 1982 the composition of the penny changed from mostly copper to a zinc core with a thin copper plating due to rising copper prices. And by 1983 this new composition became standard, but here is where things get interesting. During this transition period, mistakes and minting errors were more likely to occur, and that is exactly what makes certain 1983 D pennies incredibly valuable today. The coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the word Liberty proudly displayed, along with the year 1983 and the D mint mark indicating it was struck in Denver, while the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, a design that remained in use until 2008, making this coin both historically significant and visually recognizable. But what truly sets the 1983 D penny apart is not just its design, it is the possibility of rare minting errors that can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. One of the most famous and valuable varieties is the 1983 D double die reverse, where the lettering on the back of the coin appears double due to a misalignment during the minting process. This doubling is especially noticeable in the words 1 cent and United States of America, and coins with this error have been sold for astonishing amounts at auctions, sometimes reaching values close to or even exceeding $779,373 depending on condition and grading. And that is not all. Another rare and valuable aspect of the 1983 D penny is the possibility of off-metal strikes or transitional errors, where a coin might have been struck on the wrong planchet, such as a leftover copper blank instead of the new zinc composition. These types of errors are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors, driving their value even higher in the market. Now let's talk about grading and why it matters so much. The condition of a coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins that are uncirculated, meaning they have never been used in everyday transactions, are worth significantly more than those that show wear and tear. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins based on factors such as luster, strike quality, and surface preservation, assigning them a grade that can dramatically impact their market price. For example, a 1983 D penny with a double die error in mint state condition could be worth tens or even hundreds of times more than the same coin in circulated condition, and this is why collectors are always searching for coins in the best possible condition, storing them carefully and preserving their original appearance. Now let's explore the current market and demand for the 1983 D penny. In recent years there has been a growing interest in error coins and rare varieties, fueled by online platforms, auctions, and social media, where collectors share their discoveries and compete to acquire the rarest pieces. This increased demand has driven prices higher, making coins like the 1983 D double die reverse even more valuable. And with a top market value reaching around $779,373, it is clear that this coin is not just a piece of history, but also a powerful investment opportunity, especially for those who know what to look for. So how can you identify if you have one of these valuable coins? First, you need to examine the reverse side carefully using a magnifying glass or a coin microscope. Look closely at the lettering and check for signs of doubling, particularly in the words 1 cent and United States of America. Also pay attention to the overall condition of the coin, as higher grades will significantly increase its value. If you believe you have found a rare variety, it is highly recommended to have it authenticated and graded by a professional service, as this will not only confirm its authenticity but also maximize its potential value in the market. Now imagine this: you are going through your old coin jar or checking your spare change, and suddenly you come across a 1983 D penny. At first glance it looks ordinary, just another cent among many, but upon closer inspection you notice something unusual. The letters seem doubled. The details are sharp, and your heart starts racing because you realize that you might be holding a coin worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is the thrill of coin collecting, the excitement of discovering hidden treasures in the most unexpected places, and this is why the 1983 D Liberty 1 cent continues to capture the attention of collectors worldwide. It is not just about the money, it is about the history, the rarity, and the possibility that anyone, anywhere, could find something extraordinary in the most ordinary of objects. So keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the value of your coins, because the next time you receive a penny in change, it might just be the one that changes your life forever. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1983 D Liberty 1 cent, make sure to stay connected with rare US coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American pocket change history, the Liberty 1 cent 1986, a coin that many people ignore every single day but collectors quietly hunt with passion because of its surprising value, rich background, and the potential to be worth an astonishing current market value of $779,372 depending on condition, rarity, and unique mint errors. And yes, you heard that right, a single penny that could change your life if you know exactly what to look for and how to identify the rare variations that make this coin so incredibly valuable in today's competitive coin market. So let's begin by stepping back into history, because every great coin has a story, and the 1986 Lincoln cent, often referred to as the Liberty 1 cent by collectors due to the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, was part of a long-running series that began in 1909 to honor one of the most respected presidents in United States history. This coin features the familiar image of Lincoln on the obverse with the word Liberty proudly displayed, along with the year 1986 and the national motto "In God We Trust," while the reverse side at that time still carried the classic wheat-free Lincoln Memorial design which had been used since 1959, symbolizing American strength and unity. And although millions upon millions of these coins were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, what makes the 1986 cent so exciting is not the common versions you find in circulation, but the rare high-grade specimens and mint-era coins that can reach unbelievable prices in auctions and private sales. And this is where things start to get truly interesting, because collectors are not just looking for any 1986 penny, they are searching for coins with exceptional condition such as MS-67 or higher, coins that have never been touched by human hands, coins with flawless surfaces, brilliant red luster, and sharp strike details that look as if they were minted just seconds ago. And when such a coin appears in the market, the competition becomes fierce and the price skyrockets beyond imagination, reaching figures like $779,372, which shocks ordinary people but excites serious collectors who understand the rarity behind such perfection. But condition is not the only factor, because mint errors are another powerful reason why the 1986 Liberty 1 cent can be worth a fortune, and these errors include double die varieties, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even transitional errors where the composition or strike differs from the standard production. And when collectors discover these rare mistakes, they become highly desirable because they represent unique moments in minting history, making each error coin one of a kind. And this uniqueness drives demand and pushes the market value higher and higher as collectors compete to own something truly rare. And speaking of composition, the 1986 penny was made primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating, part of the change introduced in 1982 when the United States Mint shifted away from solid copper coins. But even within this modern composition, subtle variations and minting differences can create coins that stand out dramatically under professional grading, and that is why grading services play such a crucial role in determining value. Because a certified high-grade coin can easily command thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on its rarity and demand in the market. And right now the coin market is hotter than ever, with collectors, investors, and even beginners entering the field hoping to discover hidden gems in their collections. And the 1986 Liberty 1 cent is gaining more attention as people realize that even modern coins can hold extraordinary value if they meet the right criteria. And auctions are becoming more competitive, online platforms are buzzing with activity, and prices are steadily climbing as demand continues to grow, making this the perfect time to check your pockets, coin jars, and old collections, because you might already have a valuable coin without even knowing it. And imagine the excitement of finding a simple penny that could be worth $779,372, a life-changing discovery that starts with knowledge and attention to detail. So always remember to look closely at the condition, check for unusual features, and consider professional grading if you believe you have something special, because in the world of rare coins, small details can make a massive difference. And as we continue to explore more hidden treasures here on Rare US Coins, today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that many people overlook but collectors are quietly hunting for, the Liberty 1 cent 1988, a coin that might be sitting unnoticed in your pocket change right now yet carries a story that stretches across American history and a market value that can shock you if you understand what to look for. Because this small copper coin is not just a piece of currency, it is a symbol of tradition, craftsmanship, and in rare cases, incredible Financial potential reaching up to an astonishing current value of $779,373 depending on condition, rarity, and unique mint errors that collectors are willing to pay huge money for. And as we explore this coin, you will begin to see why the 1988 Lincoln cent has become a rising star in the world of coin collecting and why smart collectors never ignore even the most common-looking pennies. Now let's begin with the history, because every valuable coin has a story, and the 1988 1 cent belongs to. The iconic Lincoln cent series first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, and by 1988 the design had already become one of the most recognized coin designs in the world, with Lincoln's portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But what makes 1988 special is not just its place in history but the transition period in minting technology and subtle design variations that created rare and valuable differences, especially the famous 1988 and 1988D transitional varieties where the reverse design shows characteristics of earlier dies, something only sharp-eyed collectors can identify, and these small details can turn an ordinary penny into a jackpot. Now let's talk about composition, because this is where things get even more interesting. By 1982 the U.S. Mint had already switched from mostly copper coins to zinc coins with a thin copper plating due to rising metal costs, so the 1988 penny is primarily zinc, but this doesn't reduce its collectible value. In fact, it increases the importance of condition, because zinc coins are more prone to damage and corrosion, meaning high-grade examples are extremely rare and highly desirable. And when we say high-grade, we are talking about coins graded MS 67 or higher, where the coin looks almost perfect even under magnification, with brilliant luster, no scratches, and sharp details, and these are the coins that can reach unbelievable prices in auctions. Now imagine finding such a coin in your change. That's the excitement of coin collecting. Now let's explore the real reason why the 1988 penny can reach values like $779,373, and that is the presence of rare mint errors and varieties. Especially the 1988 double die varieties and the transitional reverse design, where the FG initials of the designer Frank Gasparo appear in a different style than expected. Collectors study these tiny details carefully, and when a rare variation is confirmed, the value skyrockets because demand far exceeds supply, and the coin market is driven by rarity, condition, and demand, and the 1988 penny checks all three boxes when the right variety is found. Now let's move to the market, because understanding the market is the key to turning coins into profit. The coin collecting market has grown massively in recent years with online auctions, grading services, and global collectors competing for rare pieces, and coins like the 1988 Lincoln cent have gained attention because they are accessible yet full of hidden potential. Auction records show that rare high-grade or error coins from this year can sell for thousands and in extreme cases hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially when certified by top grading companies. And this brings us to an important tip for all viewers: never clean your coins, because cleaning can destroy their value instantly. Collectors want original surfaces even if the coin looks old or dirty. And if you believe you have a rare 1988 penny, the best step is to have it professionally graded and authenticated. Now let's talk about how you can identify a valuable 1988 penny, because this is where your journey begins. First, check the mint mark located below the date. Coins may have no mint mark, which means Philadelphia, or a D for Denver, and both can have valuable varieties. Next, examine the coin under good lighting or magnification and look closely at the lettering, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. If you notice doubling or unusual thickness in the letters, you might have a double die error. Then flip the coin and check the reverse design carefully, especially the FG initials near the Lincoln Memorial. Differences in style can indicate a rare transitional variety. And finally, assess the condition. Coins with strong shine, no visible damage, and sharp details are always more valuable. Now imagine the possibility that a simple coin you ignored could be worth a life-changing amount of money. That is why collectors around the world search through rolls of pennies every day, hoping to discover that one rare piece. And that is exactly why you should start checking your coins today, because the 1988 Liberty 1 cent is not just a coin, it is an opportunity, a story, and a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. And here at Rare US Coins, today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that might already be sitting quietly in your pocket or coin jar, yet could be worth an unbelievable fortune. the legendary 1987 D Liberty 1 cent, a coin that many people overlook but collectors are hunting aggressively because of its history, rarity in high grades, and shocking market value that has reached as high as $779,371. Yes, you heard that right, a simple 1-cent coin with a story that can turn into a jackpot if you know what to look for. So stay with me because this could be the most important coin knowledge you ever learn. The 1987 D Lincoln Memorial Cent was minted in Denver, which is represented by the small D mint mark on the coin, and during this period, the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies every year, making this coin seem extremely common at first glance. But here is where things get interesting. Not all coins are created equal, and among those billions, a very small number were struck with exceptional quality, rare minting errors, or preserved in near-perfect condition, and these are the coins that collectors are willing to pay massive amounts of money for today. Now let's talk about the design, because understanding the coin helps you recognize its true value. On the obverse side, you will see the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has been part of American coinage since 1909, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. history. And on the reverse side, you will find the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of American heritage and unity. But what most people don't realize is that even small differences in strike quality, alignment, and detail sharpness can turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary collectible worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The composition of the 1987 D penny is primarily zinc with a thin copper coating, as the United States Mint switched from solid copper pennies in 1982 to reduce production costs. And while this makes the coin lightweight and common in circulation, it also makes high-quality examples extremely rare because zinc coins tend to corrode and wear down much faster, meaning that finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is like finding a needle in a haystack, and that is exactly why collectors are willing to pay huge sums for coins graded at the highest levels such as MS 67 or above. Let's move into the most exciting part, the value, because this is what everyone wants to know. How can a 1-cent coin be worth $779,371? The answer lies in a combination of condition, rarity, and collector demand. Most 1987 D pennies you find in circulation are only worth 1 cent, maybe a few cents at best, but if you discover one with a flawless surface, strong strike, brilliant luster, and no visible marks, its value increases dramatically. And if it has a rare mint error such as double die, off-center strike, or die crack, the value can skyrocket beyond imagination. In recent years, the coin market has seen a surge in demand for high-grade Lincoln cents, especially from the 1980s, as collectors aim to complete perfect registry sets, and because so few coins survive in top condition, competition drives prices higher and higher, and that is how a seemingly ordinary coin like the 1987 D Lincoln cent can reach astonishing values, with some elite specimens being valued at up to $779,371 in the current market, making it one of the most surprising modern coin success stories. Now here is something very important that you must pay attention to. Not every shiny coin is valuable, and not every old coin is rare. What you need to look for are specific features such as sharp details in Lincoln's hair, clear and strong lettering, no scratches or discoloration, and a bright original mint luster. And if your coin has these characteristics, you might be holding something extremely special. And the best step you can take is to have it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service, because grading can make a massive difference in determining the true value of your coin. Another factor that makes the 1987 D penny so exciting is the possibility of mint errors, because during mass production, mistakes happen, and those mistakes create some of the most valuable coins in the world. Imagine finding a coin that was struck twice, or slightly off-center, or with doubled lettering. These unique variations are highly sought after and can turn a simple penny into a collector's dream worth thousands or even more depending on rarity and condition. The market for rare coins continues to grow as more people become aware of the hidden value in everyday currency, and collectors, investors, and even beginners are entering the hobby, driving prices higher and increasing demand for rare finds like the 1987 D Lincoln cent. And this means that the value of such coins may continue to rise in the future, making it not only a fascinating collectible but also a potential investment opportunity. So the next time you come across a 1987 D penny, do not ignore it, take a closer look, examine its condition, check for any unusual features, and remember that what looks like a simple coin could actually be a hidden treasure worth a life-changing amount of money, because in the world of coin collecting, knowledge is power, and the more you learn, the greater your chances of discovering something truly extraordinary. If you enjoyed this incredible journey into the world of rare coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most surprising coins you might already have in your pocket, the Liberty 1 cent 1991, a coin that many people ignore but collectors are quietly hunting because some rare variations and high-grade examples have reached an astonishing market value of $779,372. And yes, you heard that right. A simple penny could be worth more than a luxury house if you know what to look for and understand its true history, rarity, and demand in today's fast-moving coin market. So stay with me because this story might completely change how you look at your loose change forever. The 1991 Liberty 1 cent is part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, making it one of the most iconic coins in United States history. And by 1991 the coin had already gone through several design transitions but still carried the familiar portrait of Lincoln on the front, a symbol of American heritage, strength, and unity. While the reverse featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been in use since 1959, giving this coin a classic and recognizable appearance that many people overlook because it feels so common. But here is where things get interesting, because not all 1991 pennies are the same, and certain factors like mint mark, condition, striking errors, and rarity levels can turn this ordinary coin into an extraordinary collector's prize. Now let's talk about what really drives the value of the 1991 Liberty 1 cent and how it could possibly reach such a massive price tag in today's market. First of all, condition is everything in coin collecting. Coins that are in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially those graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading services, are incredibly rare because most coins from 1991 were heavily circulated, meaning finding one in near-perfect condition is like finding a needle in a haystack, and collectors are willing to pay huge amounts of money for that level of perfection, especially when the coin still has its original luster, sharp details, and no visible wear. Another key factor that can skyrocket the value of a 1991 penny is the presence of mint errors, and this is where things get truly exciting because error coins are unique and highly desirable. Examples include double die errors where the design appears duplicated, off-center strikes where the coin was not properly aligned during minting, and even rare transitional errors that can occur during changes in the minting process. These mistakes are not supposed to happen, which is exactly why collectors love them, because each error coin tells a unique story of what went wrong at the mint, turning a simple penny into a one-of-a-kind collectible that can command unbelievable prices at auctions. The 1991 penny was produced at multiple mints including Philadelphia and Denver, and while millions were made, only a tiny fraction meet the strict criteria that collectors look for, especially those with exceptional strike quality, flawless surfaces, and strong eye appeal. And when such a coin appears on the market, it creates intense competition among buyers, driving the price higher and higher, sometimes reaching levels that seem unbelievable for a 1-cent coin. But this is the power of rarity combined with demand. In the world of numismatics, market trends also play a huge role in determining the current value of coins like the 1991 Liberty 1 cent. In recent years there has been a growing interest in rare coins as alternative investments, with collectors and investors alike looking for tangible assets that can hold or increase their value over time, and this has pushed prices up significantly, especially for coins that are already scarce in top condition. And when you add historical significance, collector demand, and limited availability into the equation, you get a perfect storm that can drive a coin's value into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. What makes the 1991 Liberty 1 cent even more fascinating is that many of these coins are still out there in circulation, sitting unnoticed in jars, drawers, and piggy banks, which means there is always a chance that someone could discover a rare and valuable example without even realizing it, and that is what makes coin collecting so thrilling, the idea that a life-changing treasure could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with knowledge and curiosity to uncover it. If you are serious about finding a valuable 1991 penny, you should start by carefully examining your coins under good lighting. Look for sharp details in Lincoln's hair and the Lincoln Memorial, check for any unusual markings or doubling, and pay close attention to the overall condition of the coin, because even small differences can have a huge impact on value, and if you believe you have found something special, getting it professionally graded can confirm its authenticity and help you understand its true worth. In the market, the journey of the 1991 Liberty 1 cent from a simple piece of pocket change to a coin valued at $779,372 is a powerful reminder that value is not always obvious at first glance. Sometimes it takes knowledge, patience, and a keen eye to recognize true worth, and that is exactly what we aim to help you develop here on Rare US Coins, where every coin has a story, and every story has the potential to change your LFSO. Before you ignore that handful of pennies again, take a closer look, because you might be holding a hidden treasure without even knowing it, and who knows, your next discovery could be the one that turns a single cent into a fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1991 Liberty 1 cent, make sure to stay connected with Rare US Coins. Has shocked the numismatic world, reaching an incredible estimated value of $779,374 for top-grade and rare error specimens, and if you think a simple penny cannot be worth life-changing money, stay with me, because this story will completely change the way you look at the coins in your pocket right now. The 1998 D Lincoln cent was minted at the famous United States Mint in Denver, identified by the small d mint mark under the date, and at first glance it appears to be just another ordinary penny with Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what makes this coin extraordinary is not what most people see, it is what collectors know to look for, including rare minting errors, exceptional condition grades, and unique die varieties that have turned this coin into a highly desirable piece in the rare coin market. Now let's go back a bit into the history, because understanding the background gives you the real power to identify value. The Lincoln cent design itself has been around since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history, and by 1998 the coin was composed mainly of zinc with a thin copper plating, which means most of these coins were produced in massive quantities and are still very common. However, within those millions of coins, a few rare pieces were struck with imperfections or unique characteristics that make them incredibly valuable today. And this is where the magic begins, because collectors are not just buying a coin, they are buying rarity, story, and condition. One of the most famous and valuable features found in some 1998 D pennies is the wide AM reverse variety, where the spacing between the A and M in America is noticeably wider than usual. This small detail can turn an ordinary coin into a jackpot find, especially if it is in mint state condition with sharp details and no wear. And when such a coin is graded by professional services like MS-67 or higher, its value can skyrocket into hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that is exactly how we reach astonishing figures like $779,374 in today's premium collector market. Now imagine this for a moment: a coin that was once worth just 1 cent sitting in circulation, possibly used in everyday transactions, could now be worth more than a luxury car or even a house in some regions. This is the reality of the rare coin world, and it all depends on knowledge and attention to detail. Another important factor that drives the value of the 1998 D Lincoln cent is condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, and the difference between a circulated coin and a pristine uncirculated one can mean the difference between 1 cent and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Collectors are especially interested in coins that have full red luster, meaning they retain their original copper shine without turning brown over time. These are known as red coins, and they command the highest prices in auctions and private sales. The market for rare coins has grown significantly over the years, with more investors entering the field looking for tangible assets that can appreciate in value, and coins like the 1998 D Lincoln cent have become a hotspot because they combine accessibility with the potential for massive returns. You do not need to be a millionaire to start collecting. Sometimes all it takes is a careful look at your spare change, and you might already have a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. What makes this even more exciting is that new collectors are joining the hobby every day, increasing demand and pushing prices even higher. And when demand rises for a limited supply item, the value naturally follows, making rare coins not just collectibles but powerful investment tools. Now let's talk about how you can identify if you have one of these valuable coins. First, check the date and mint mark to confirm it is 1998 D, then carefully examine the reverse side under good lighting or a magnifying glass. focus on the spacing in the word America. If the A and M are clearly separated with noticeable space, you might be holding the famous wide AM variety. Next, look at the overall condition. Are the details sharp? Is the surface free of scratches? Does it still have its original shine? If the answer is yes, then you could be sitting on a coin worth far more than you ever imagined, and the best step after that is to have it professionally graded and authenticated, because certified coins attract serious buyers and achieve the highest market prices. The journey of the 1998 D. Lincoln cent from an everyday coin to a high-value collectible is a perfect example of how hidden treasures still exist in plain sight. It reminds us that value is not always obvious and that knowledge can turn something ordinary into something extraordinary. So next time you receive change or come across old coins, do not ignore them, take a closer look, because you never know what you might find, and who knows, you could be the next person to discover a rare 1998 D penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, make sure to stay connected with Rare US Coins.